to call the meeting to order at this time. This is the November 9, 2021 regular meeting of the Fairview Town Council. This time, Councilman Will Fong will have our invocation.
Let's pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for the opportunity to be here to serve those that have elected us and ask us to act on their behalf in the running of this town, and then give us the guidance and wisdom and patience we need to make that a successful accomplishment for all those involved. We ask you to thank those that participated in the election, knowing that the election process is one of those things that we often take for granted as one of the purest things we have in living in this country. At this time, with Veterans Day coming up in 2 days, thanks to all those that have served and allowed us to be able to vote and do the things that we like to do, which a lot of sacrifice has been given, and especially the ultimate sacrifice for all those that fought for us being able to meet here tonight without fear of persecution and being lost to life. Can the God direct and bless us, give us all safe passage home, look after the sick, look after the grieving, look after those who continue to look after us, whether it be the EMS, or our law enforcement people in the military itself. In my name we pray. Amen.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To agenda changes, I'd like to remove item number 2, Brandon Booster sponsorship, move that to next month. John Biggers is at his annual industry conference, and I'd like to replace that with an update on the septic system and electrical controls that we're having to do for this building. Are there any other agenda changes? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I move we approve the agenda as amended.
I second.
All in favor? And the agenda is approved. We have no public comments, so we'll move to the consent agenda. I want to call your attention to the proclamation for Veterans Day. I want to recognize all the veterans. Any veteran of any branch of the armed forces would like for you to stand and be recognized. And also anyone currently serving in the U.S. military, stand and be recognized. I do want to especially recognize Jerry Klontz and Gary Wilfong. Jerry is a Marine Corps veteran, a Vietnam veteran. He was a Marine protecting Da Nang Air Base in Vietnam. And Gary Wilfong is an Air Force veteran of the North Carolina Air National Guard, spent 33 years serving our country, and retired as a brigadier general and the commander of the entire North Carolina Air National Guard. So thank you for your service. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor? Okay, and the consent agenda is approved. Move to item 4, item number 1. Approve contract with Melanie D. Cox with Cox Law Firm, LLC, to provide legal services to the town of Fairview and give Mayor Thomas the authority to sign said contract. With the passing of Joe McCollum, the town had to find a new attorney. We consulted with several attorneys, and Melanie Cox's name kept coming up. She served as counsel to 2 other municipalities in the county. And Melanie, if you wouldn't mind coming to the mic and just tell council and the audience a little bit about your municipal council.
Thanks for having me. My name is Melanie Cox, and I've been licensed since 2001. I started out as a prosecutor, and then after about 5.5 years, started doing civil work with the law firm Perry, Bundy, Plyler, Long, and Monroe. And that's where I first really developed an interest in municipal work, because that law firm had a long relationship of representing Union County. I first my first client was Stallings, and that was, I want to say, maybe 2008. I still represent the town of Stallings, and probably around 2009, Don Perry retired as the town attorney for Wingate, and I took over his position and still represent the town of Wingate as well. I represented the village of Marvin for about 3 years, until about, I guess, maybe 2 years ago. I stepped down. Those meetings sometimes would go to 1 o'clock in the morning, and when you have to be in court the next day at 9 o'clock, it made it very cumbersome and tiresome. At the last meeting of the Municipal Attorneys Association that's hosted by the North Carolina League of Municipalities, I was appointed to serve on the board. They have different positions based on different size towns, and for this, I think it's a 2 or 3 year term in the Stallings slot for towns, whatever size they're in. So that's a great organization because the attorneys, municipal attorneys, are very, very collaborative, unlike family law and maybe some other areas where they're more adversarial and fight each other. We all share ideas, we all collaborate and help each other, and there's no need to invent the wheel when someone else has a similar policy or ordinance, and we can kind of discuss those ideas. So it's been a great organization. I knew Mr. McCollum since, 2001, because I've been in Union County this entire time, and respected him a great deal and enjoyed seeing him at the conferences and talking about municipal items with him. So I know if you all choose to hire me, I have very, very big shoes to fill, but I do really enjoy this work, and I'd love to be of service to the town.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Melanie? I asked her how she preferred to be addressed, whether it was Madam Attorney or Ms. Cox or Melanie or hey you or whatever.
All of the above are just fine.
And we're all pretty much on a first name basis here, so she said Melanie was fine with her. So any questions for her?
Are you a Union County native? Just out of curiosity.
Not according to my passport now. And I grew up in Charlotte. I moved to Charlotte when I was in 2nd grade. Went to Charlotte Catholic High School, went to college in Washington, D.C., and then went to law school at Chapel Hill. But my first job out of law school was with the DA's office in Union, and so I've been working my entire professional career. I've been working in Union County, and I've lived in Union County since then.
Any questions?
Not for me.
Okay. Patricia and Ed and I actually met with Melanie a couple of weeks ago just to get a good comfort level and to make sure that we were comfortable bringing her to council. And we're very comfortable. Okay, if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract.
I so move.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? And the motion carries. Thank you. We look forward to working with you. Okay, the second item, just wanted to bring everybody up to date on what's going on with the septic situation here, and also the electrical panel. When the fire department, the county, Ed and I walked through the building over here, the controls for the fire alarm, the burglar alarm, and the pump for the septic system were all in the old building. The school system, first of all, said they wanted to keep those, and I asked them if they would let us have them, and they did agree to that, so we were able to move the electrical panels over to this building. An electrician has checked out the pump system for the wet well here where the sewage goes. The sewage, once it flows by gravity from the restrooms here in this building, goes into the wet well outside here. There's a pump system, it's got a dual pump that pumps it up under the building next door, under that building to a tank somewhere on the fire department's property. So we've known from the get-go that we're going to have to find some place for a septic field here on our property. The electrician has checked out the pumps. One of the pumps is not working properly. They've got to check that out again. The other pump, the automatic system is working on that. And as far as the septic goes, we have talked with several engineers about that. Ed and I met with an engineer 2 weeks ago who's willing to work with us if we need an engineer, but we're not convinced right now that we're going to need an engineer. We're supposed to meet with the county and with the septic service next week to find out if we can find a perk site here on the property. If we find a good perk site, then we probably won't need an engineer. If we're not able to find a good perk site, then we may need to get an engineer involved in designing some type of system for us. But we're working with the county and with the septic service to try to find a site that will work. If we find a perk site, then it'll be a simple matter of installing a tank, a drain field, and then rerouting the septic from the wet well between the two buildings here to the new tank. So that's where we are on that. Hopefully we'll be able to get all that worked out in the next couple of months. And that's all I have. So we'll move to council comments at this time. Patricia.
I would just like to call everybody's attention to the holiday lights contest. That's gotten more and more popular. This is our 4th year, and the deadline for registration is December 2nd, and judging will take place between the 5th and the 7th, and that is planned so that we can announce winners at the Winter Festival. So please take a flyer tonight, pass them out to your friends and neighbors, and we'll hope to get the message out to all of our residents.
And the Winter Festival date, Spencer, December
11th from 4 to 7.
Okay, December 11th from 4 to 7. Okay.
I guess begin with seeing the time of year it is, we should be thankful for what we have, and I just like to just publicly state, I'm really thankful for the town of Fairview. Unlike other people sharing the dice with me, I've lived here 37 years, and somebody else has been here their whole lifetime, so, but.
Well, I've only been here 45.
So I'm really thankful for what we have to offer here, and I just give you a prime example, and those that haven't taken or participated in anything at the park, how nice it is in the park, and we have one of the things we have here for Fairview that if you feel like it, you can make a donation to put in a public bench for everybody or something like that, and we've got 2 benches that need to be purchased and need to be installed, and I'm helping with that tomorrow, and I just asked if we could get help, and we get 4 people to come and help us put them in tomorrow, and that's just something you probably will not find in other communities, something where you can just go out and ask somebody to come out and help you for the betterment of the community, and that happens on a regular basis. So I'm thankful for everything we have here and what opportunities we have, and unlike a lot of people that come to Fairview, they move here because they've heard about our reputation, and that's why they want to come here. We ended up here kind of on the fluke, and briefly, as we saw a house we liked for sale, looked at it and bought it the same day, and not knowing, didn't know a soul all of Union County, didn't know anything. We bought so quick, we went back to Kernersville where I was living. I had to call the realtor up, so if we want to ride by and see it before we go home, we don't know where it is. So do you mind give us directions so we can ride by and see this house before we go back home? But like everything else, it's worked out great, and thanks to all the people of Fairview make it possible to live in a community like this. So.
It's a great place to live.
Yeah.
Jerry?
We had the kids fishing tournament last month, and it turned out great. There's over 30 kids out there, and I guess probably at least a half a dozen of them were telling me, I caught my first fish. So it really did me good just to see the expressions on them kids' faces when they caught their first fish. I will say the largest one was a catfish. It was I think it was 6.4 pound, if I'm not mistaken. And but also I want to thank the residents of Fairview for turning out to vote this past week. It was a good turnout, one of the best that we've had for our local election. And that's one thing the town of Fairview needs, is more people getting involved in the town. And there's a lot of ways you can do it. We got an event committee that plans our events at the park. We got a facilities committee that helps look over the park. We've got a planning board. And just, if you want to get involved in any of this, just ask anybody on the council or ask anybody at the town hall, Ed or Teresa, and they can tell you how you can get involved. And we'd love to see more people involved in the activities here. So,
And I want to thank everyone that came out to vote, regardless of who you voted for. Thank you for voting. That's a right that we should never take for granted. And
Spencer needs to
okay,
speak on a few things.
okay. I don't know where you're coming from. Okay. Spencer, you want to go ahead? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So of course, I'm speaking on behalf of my mother. I'll give this to you. We have over 40 churches and businesses coming to the festival so far, and they're still coming in every single day. Here's the schedule. Here's a list of churches and stuff. Schedule on one side. With that being said, we're planning on a ton. We have every school from the Piedmont area coming, high school, middle school, Fairview, New Salem, Unionville. We also have Benton Heights coming this year. So we're expecting a ton of people. We are having parking here, Bethlehem, and at Fairview School, and then of course the park. Bethlehem is giving us a bus, so we have that. We just have to find one more. So we also have Ground 40 that's parking. Hopefully Mike will be able to have a break this festival. But with that being said, we're still short. Our main thing is we're gonna have to have some manpower to help direct traffic. It's going to be absolutely crazy amount of people that come. So if you know of a men's group or anything that wants like an admission, we're willing to give it to them. We just need some power. We would love it if the council would come and pass out stockings to everyone. We're having about 4 different stocking stations, just one is not enough. I mean, you saw one here, this is not enough. So we would love it if the council would get involved in doing that and just pass out stockings. We also, just think about it, this isn't anytime soon. We have the same businesses in our area that are constantly contributing to us. We need to do something for them. Whether it's invite them to a council meeting, shout them out, whatever it is. Scoggin donates something every single time we have a festival. Bethlehem, McAllister Greenhouses, Lane Griffin is always so good. At Piedmont Signs, I don't think he's ever charged anything for anything we do. He does all of our signs. So just kind of be thinking of a way of how we can honor them. Because like I said, they always, every single festival, are willing to give and do. And we want to keep them giving and doing and make them happy. But that's all.
Okay.
I have one thing too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll pass out stockings. I don't mind doing that. I'll be glad to.
We won't work too hard.
Yeah, we'll have 4 tables, so.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be.
Well, you're gonna be doing something else.
1, 2, 3.
And John, I'll be doing something else too.
John will
But
be here.
I'll be there, yeah. Also, Unionville, the town of Unionville, Lions Club has asked if y'all would like to do be in the Unionville Christmas parade. Have a float or car or whatever.
Yeah, drive the fire truck.
Well, you have to ask Andy if, you have to ask Andy if you can drive the fire truck. He probably won't let you. But we just need to let them know because they would like to partner with us and then they want to come to our winter festival. Because theirs is the Saturday before ours, you know, the lighting and the parade.
They are struggling for members right now. So they said if we would be willing to help them and do a float, they would be willing to be volunteers at ours. So it's kind of a win-win in our eyes.
So do y'all know how to do this?
That's House decision.
What kind of float are we
They
talking?
just said anything. They said you can be on the back of a trailer and just have a sign that says Town of Fairview Council or Town of Fairview, whatever. They said you can advertise a Christmas festival, anything you want to do, just kind of be known there, is what they said. And they will be known at ours.
And what was that date?
They're the Saturday before us.
And this is the Lions Club asking this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They do
figured
that.
They did the parade for town of Unionville.
American Legion does parade.
American Legion does the parade. Well, excuse me. They told me everything. The Lions Club did everything. Oh, okay.
And plus this year, I think it's one of the things that that same weekend, they're having a beauty pageant on Friday
They
night.
are, yeah.
And then the senior division, whoever wins that will be Miss Unionville and will be in
In
the
the parade.
parade. I think everybody may be, I'm not sure if all of them will be in the parade, all the winners, I don't know. That's something they haven't done before.
Yeah.
too.
So you gotta think about that and how you want to decorate your float. Y'all get to do that.
What are the hours for the parade?
I don't know.
Normally, they do the tree lighting, so normally it's like 4 or something, and
Yeah,
then they do the tree
before.
lighting like an hour later,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, right before.
I'm not positive. We're always too busy with ours that we never get down there, so I don't necessarily.
So that'll be the 4th, correct?
Yeah, I can ask Sonia and she can give me the information.
I didn't know they had a Christmas parade. I knew you had a
Yeah.
4th of July.
They've had one for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, they started that. So y'all have to let me know ASAP.
Somebody like to ramrod that?
Well, Teresa, we get the float built, decorated. I think I can go along with it.
It says 4 o'clock is the parade.
I'm all for it, but I've got tickets for something that day. I'll have to see if I can get my
I'll
tickets
ramrod it.
switched.
Okay.
You got a trailer, you fit everybody down?
I've got a trailer, but I don't know if you want to be on
We
it.
got a trailer, it's, take it over.
If I could get the whole army truck running, we could ride it. No promises.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Right now,
All
it's
dressed in camouflage.
not- yeah, right now, it's
Then they
not,
can't see you.
right now it's not running, so. But I'll work on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Anything else?
The oath.
Yeah, the oath.
Attorney, do you want to do that?
Teresa's gonna do that.
For that thing, before everybody getting ready, moving in position, if we wanted to sign, what do you think they'd like to sign for us for the trailer if we get whatever we want to do?
I, Melanie Cox, do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States, the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as town attorney for the town of Fairview, so help me God.
Thank you. The only other thing I have, there's been a lot of interest in the old school building next door when people found out that it was going to be torn down to make way for a new fire department. Some people seem to think that you should just leave an old building and let it rot away. fire department does have, they have been planning what they're going to do with the property. A lot of people wanted to do a tour through the building before it's torn down. The fire department is going to allow that. Their attorney is working now on a waiver form. So if you want to go through the building, you'd have to sign the waiver. They don't have a date yet. The board still has to meet and come up with a date. But there's also going to be a memory wall in that new fire department. It's going to have the history of the school, history of the fire department, pictures, mementos, that type of thing on a memory wall inside of there. So the fact that the building is being torn down, we're not doing away, or the fire department's not doing away with the history that's there. The history is still going to stay. Some people have asked about whether or not they'd be able to buy a brick or take a brick. That will be made available. Bricks will be made available to people, anyone who wants to have a memento of the old school. But the fire department at some point will announce what that date will be, and the community will be allowed to go into the school and take pictures, and then it will be torn down for the new fire department with a memory wall that's going to be in the new fire department. So that's all I have. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.